Great. So we are live now. Thank you for joining, everyone. Thank you for joining, Ali. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you here. Let me quickly make an introduction about what we are doing here. So I want to welcome everyone for this session of Digital Trust at Scale, Identity, Payment, and Agentic Workflow. And this session is part of our Trust and Pay Hackathon journey. So that started already in December with a kickoff. Thank you to Intersect for hosting us back then in December. It was really amazing. And now it's in the virtual phase, and it's designed to prepare all the participants in the best possible way. So we have learning sessions, we have master classes, and we have also panels like this that help informing the participants to build in the best possible way, to be prepared and to understand what we are aiming for. So, and this will lead to the session. Okay, I see Ghassan also joining. Hello, Ghassan. Thank you for joining. Thank you.
Sabrina, of course. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Ali,
Thank you.
اهلا كيف حالك غسان؟
حياك الله.
Salam
Peter.
alaikum.
Salam alaikum wa barakatuh. Peter, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm super duper well, man.
Great to meet you here.
Great to meet you, man. Of course.
Fantastic. I was just explaining why we are here. So in the context of the hackathon, to prepare the participants, and yeah, so we want to today talking about the topic of digital trust and agentic workflows, because Bosch and is represented by Peter today, is giving us a track for our hackathon about agentic AI, and we would like to talk about that and set the context. So with that, I would like to just welcome all of you. Salam alaikum to everyone.
Salam alaikum wa barakatuh.
And we are very happy to welcome Peter Busch. He's representing Bosch Digital. He works for the technology management at the intersection of mobility, AI, and real-world systems. So he also brings, and that's super interesting, a broader ecosystem perspective. So he's also chair of Fetch AI Foundation. So that is Peter. I'm also joined here by Ali. He's representing Intersect. He's also a co-host for the hackathon. Thank you for that. And Intersect is doing early concept POC rollout, also supporting investing, and they did a great and a lot of big projects. And feel free to all of you. I just make a short introduction to expand on that as well. And Ghassan, thank you for joining for Parachute 16. We know each other also from BBAN. You were a vital part of preparing BBAN. You are more early stage. You are accelerating and incubating startups in a fantastic way with a lot of passion and purpose. So thank you for that. I have prepared one question for all of you, and this is how I would like to start this panel. Before I do that, I would like to set the stage as well. So we will have a discussion, a panel-style discussion with some leading questions, having a vital conversation, honest perspectives as well. We will use that the discussion to inform the Bosch Agentic AI track for our hackathon. So this is an additional track. And we would like to help with that to understand, also with real use cases and talking about how this could become real, how that could scale, how we really could make that something scalable and real for Saudi Arabia. and helping with everything that we are saying, our participants, so that they are best prepared to really work on that. So my question, and I would like to start with Peter, as AI becomes now more agentic, so not only answering questions, but also taking actions, what is one principle from your perspective that we need to get right to enable scalability, to make it work in practice?
Yeah.
So just give your perspective. Yes.
Yeah, certainly. First of all, yeah, thank you that I can be here and talk to here in this round. Would really like that. And again, just I need to correct you from the beginning. I'm not from Bosch Digital. I'm from Bosch Automotive. So,
Sorry.
But a huge difference. My colleague, which will join us later in the hackathon then as well, Yusuf, is from Bosch Digital. And I'm there as a director of technology management, looking over all the automotive business units, helping them to develop and innovate the new technologies. And yeah, as you said it correctly, AI in everybody's head at the moment has a new dimension now, agentic AI, and that really is a huge thing for us because when it comes to artificial intelligence, when it comes to these new innovative technologies regarding data exchange, uses of huge masses of data, we need some kind of automation. And if you just look at large language models where you can ask ChatGPT something, this is always just an interaction. You get only some feedback. But if you have an agent in the background working for you, not only giving information, having access to information, but doing something actively, then this is, of course, a completely new dimension. And we need that when we look, for example, at the automotive sector. We need something helping us while we are driving, while we are transacting, while we are interacting with the infrastructure, with the car, and with other things, with huge amounts of data in the future. Just think about autonomous driving of the future. There a lot needs to be automated in the background. And the most important thing definitely here is, we have it already in the title, is trust. I need to trust not only my agent and not only the models and the data around, I need to trust really that interaction. Is this real? Is this authentic? Can I trust the data which comes to me? Because we as Bosch, our main hypothesis is technology for life. Yeah? When we are on the roads, we talk about safety, security, we talk about lives. The driver needs to survive the drive. Yeah? So this is exactly what we need the most. If an agentic AI helps us to solve the needs and the problems that we have in the traffic today, and maybe in an autonomous traffic of the future, the first and outermost thing is trust. We need to trust these technologies. So this is just a very generic view from our side.
Thank you so much. Ali, what is your perspective?
Thank you, Sabrina, for organizing this. Let me first introduce what we focus on Intersect. So we focus on taking advanced technologies from concept to real industrial deployment across mobility, supply chain, and advanced manufacturing. One thing that really excites me about this session is that we are not talking about a theoretical AI. We are talking about a real use case scenarios that we are having today with agentic AI that actually execute actions in real world. And this is something, as Peter say, we start noticing, and there's a huge demand for it in the autonomous driving. So here in Saudi, we see that the shift that we see every day, where we run our POCs in hydrogen mobility and autonomous system and industrial automation, is where trust must be there, because we need to identify, we need to do the permissioning process, and we need the auditability all in one. So that's not an option anymore. It's the foundation, it's the core that we need if we want to run an actual end-to-end like agentic solutions. So yeah, I agree 100% with Peter. So the real main principle should be trust by design itself.
Thank you so much. Ghassan, over to you.
Sabrina, thank you so much again for the opportunity to join very esteemed friends and partners from an entire sector and push. I will be from our experience at Parachute 16, where we are working with startups and scale-ups across the region and the globe, out of Saudi, and where we have in our portfolio companies 350 companies and we invested in all the stages of those companies, I would be so frank about how we look at it. So before we think what AI can do and the models and so, let's go take a step back and think a little bit differently. Where we see it, it's AI is all about efficiency and optimization. And where we see not everybody's today speaking and sharing that it's a product enabled by AI. In fact, so many of those products are not. Let's be very frank about what the potential of AI and the integration of that part is huge. But again, so many companies that we are investing into today and are scaling and supporting is looking at the AI from an efficiency / optimization process where it can support the delivery of their, I would say, value creation to be better and faster. That means we should think, are we, from an infrastructure perspective, data perspective, the back end that supports all the real functioning of AI, is it today do we have it really on the ground or not? This is the question that we should think of before we tackling all the potential of AI, because it has a huge potential. But the fact is, are we really using it in the right direction? At the end, some people are doing a little bit of automation, they call it AI. So in fact, this is not true. In fact, we have so many processes and infrastructure to be set before we say the capabilities of AI, because it has all what it takes to be one of the best enablers of our technology.
Thank you so much. I would like to expand that with the question to Peter. So when people think of Bosch, they think of hardware, automotive, real-world products. So I'm from Germany. I'm from Stuttgart, so I know Bosch very well, exactly in that context. And why is agentic AI now relevant in that context? You already mentioned a bit, but maybe it's a real thing for you. And please expand a bit on that, how this can be also inspired the participants in our hackathon.
Yeah, as you already mentioned it, Bosch is a huge and very old company. So we have today more than 400,000 people working for us. In every country of the world, we have at least a plant or some company representation. We have a huge span of products, really mainly hardware, mainly really real products that you can work with and use it in your daily life. Everybody talks about washing machines, dryers, all this, the whiteware, all this stuff. But in connectivity industries and in security system and all that, we have a huge connectivity thing. So the Internet of Things was one day a huge topic as well for us, because all the products get connected. And I'm working here in this field since like 10, 15 years, really looking in these new technologies. How does the internet, how does connectivity technologies change the world, change our portfolio? And what we now learned in the last years with AI is it's just another way of how to treat data, how to use data. And we want to do something different here. We not really just stay in awe for this cool new technology AI, so we have to somehow use it, but we just see it as a tool. And what we now see is that we have now much better control of how our products get used, how we can improve them or improve them, how we can use them better. And when it comes to agentic AI, for example, as I said before, this is a means now of just doing the things, the problems that we have to solve in daily life just better. So we don't want to reinvent everything from scratch. So just say, oh, this new technology, I do not understand it, but we have to use it anyway. So we really just want to use that tool. And when it comes to agentic AI, this is just another way of making the user, I would say, helping him just better to use our products in the future. So we tried it in the last years with software, with new apps, with new applications, with new use of data. But when we now have this huge tool, this huge mighty tool, AI, in the background working for us and doing really stuff for us, then we have time for anything else. So just see it what you have in the car or maybe in the household or in the buildings. And now you have time for something else, for more important things. If in the background, the nifty details get solved from agents. So this definitely would be the vision for the future. However, we start small. We just let them give, in an automatic way, for example, a better route for my drive, a better way how to select charging stations, a better way how to solve conflicts. Yeah, doing all the stuff that we normally have to do manually, maybe stay or let the bicycle in the car do it, yeah, with their mobile. But if I can have my both hands on the wheel and let in the background my smart agent do that, then definitely my life gets better. And so this is the vision that we have around that, just improving our product view in the front of the future.
Sounds probably for most of the people in the audience pretty futuristic, but I know it's already, I think, more than a POC on your side. And so over to you, Ali. So when we are thinking about agentic AI and applying that in Saudi Arabia, in the context that we are just talking about, what do you see from a POC and scale perspective? What makes a trust-heavy, or let's say such a project, succeed or fail? Also in the perspective of when we to inform and inspire our participants.
I believe there's three things decide success in such a POC. First, it should be a clear ownership where one sponsor is inside the organization who is accountable for the outcome, and this is a major thing that we need to consider for a successful POC. The other thing, as we did for the POC of the hydrogen fuel cell trucks, is to define a clear KPIs even before we start the POC. Don't leave anything for future surprises. So you need to define the KPIs first, and you need to have a regulatory alignment with all the regulators in Saudi to make sure that you can run the POC successfully. So the POC fails only when the technicality and it's too technical and too academic, and nobody understands why they are doing it and what is the outcome. So always try to minimize your KPI. Agree before you start anything on certain KPIs, then you can move forward.
Maybe just a follow-up question, because you mentioned regulations. How is the regulation in that context for AI advancing in Saudi Arabia? What kind of regulation rules apply?
I think there is two paths that you should take here. Either to go with a sandbox if there is a sandbox, and if there is no sandbox, then you don't need to care about regulation.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, but
yeah. No, because
Actually, to
on
build
one
up,
hand
Sabrina,
side, yes.
actually, Sabrina, to build up on that, I think we are in Saudi, as you know, that we are focusing big time in a quality of life, program, and quality of life. It's intervening with every single aspect of the government's, I would say, mandate. And because we work closely with the government, we know that each government or ministry and stash commission, they are mandated to be data-driven, I would say, government agency that supports the tech products to be really enabled in the very right direction. And with the same, the real estate, we have some commissions are very, very, I would say, working so hard to make it right and easy, as well as MCIT in Saudi and the rest of the ministries. They are working hard to make the sandboxing a little bit available in the right direction, in the right timing as well. Because, as Ali mentioned, some of those are already shared their sandboxing, but the rest, they are working on it. And we have the plan, inshallah, by 2030 to have some real serious data and infrastructure available for the POCs.
Yeah, and on one hand side, regulations are something very helpful if it comes to proper product and implementation and execution. It gives security. It gives, let's say, implementation security, and also investment security. But yeah, I think it's really interesting to dive into that as well. But it will also take some time. We will start with the idea first in the hackathon and then see what is coming out. And then it takes some time to accelerate and then doing POC, etc. So maybe a follow-up question to you, Ghassan. So looking from an early stage and an investor lens, so what is a good way for agentic AI and identity in the kingdom? And also, who is the buyer that actually pays for it first? So do you have an perspective on that?
Of course. Actually, because we invest in early stage and growth stage startups, and we accelerate them through our accelerators. And so I would say I will get it back to the quality of life direction, because at the end, if we're gonna say agentic AI or any use of technology, it's all about giving us the right recommendation in the right time where I can make a right decision in my life, in terms of different angles, right? So we invested, we already this year and the last year, we invested in 6-7 companies that are using agentic AI in different fields. Those that actually we launched them from Saudi to the region, even in FMB or transportation or so, but all of them, they are trying to collect and have right data for the users, where they can give them a right recommendations. That means efficiency in timing, efficiency in also their day-to-day life. And we as well think that to make it a very accurate recommendation, it needs time to have it so implemented, right? Because already those companies, they have their POC launched, they are interacting with the users, but of course we know that the data of these companies should be more accurate to have right recommendations. But before we go into very, I would say, deep tech solutions, remember that anything that touches the quality of life, it's going to be very interesting and attractive for any player, even investors or players or enablers or global partners. And so because companies like Bosch, they have big intervention in Saudi, right? So they have big projects and they are already intervening in different sectors. But I think from the hackathon lens, think in any way that might be interacting directly with the users and their, again, quality of life perspective. This is how we see it.
Thank you. Going back to Peter, also understanding the perspective of you as building enterprise solutions. So when do an agentic system become really useful in the industry, for the industry, beyond the hype? What is your perspective on that?
Yeah, I have two perspectives really here. Because on one side, since we are a German corporation, setting or with a setup here in the European Union, there are something very interesting things are happening at the moment. We all talk about data sovereignty here. So we all talk about, can I trust the, let's say, the hyperscaler, the other side, yeah, who is having all my data on their platforms, which I'm dealing with. What is the influence of other companies worldwide into the European areas? You might follow that in the press, what's happening with these big hyperscalers in the European Union, the regulation, we had it just before. And so the perspective that I have here from Bosch when it comes to international trade, international products and all that, is that we first start out with this European view on how to use data, how is it allowed and how is it legal to use data. And there we have a very interesting setup at the moment, which all goes about identity. Yeah? So that you really have the means of, you need to have the ability to authenticate yourself. And as well, the other side needs to authenticate itself if you want to communicate or do a transaction with you. And that holds true with AI as well, of course. when I communicate with my car to an infrastructure component on the other side, I definitely need to know who is that on the other side, if is that side allowed to use my data or vice versa. And in the European thinking is definitely in the future, I need to follow this regulation to be still on the market. So, and when we have new products on the market using AI or agentic AI, they definitely have to have some kind of a means of authentication of ID, digital identity, which does not belong to one of the big typical intermediaries like hyperscalers or so. So they have the control over the data and not me as a user. This is the one perspective. So we have to combine that somehow to have agentic AI in a very, I would say, private way, authentic way, ID centric way. So that I need to be authenticated with my agentic AI myself, not from another system, that I use it only. Sounds complicated at the moment, but just an example, when I start an agent and he does something for me, or it does something for me, then I need to know in which behalf it does. Maybe because there's trust and pay hackathon. That's as well the reason we have founded this Fetch AI Foundation vehicle thing, that we have something that we have a decentralized agentic AI here as well, which comes together with smart contracts, for example. And then if you have a smart contract, don't want to go into detail here. However, what is clear, it has a unique ID. It belongs to you. Nobody else has your private key and can't control it. So this is one means that we can use the agent that comes from my side, from my product, 100% authenticated. It can pay on my behalf, it can get paid, and it can make business with other instances out there. So this is really, again, the visionary approach, where it has the authenticity in it, there's identity in it, follows the law, because we can control it really and can follow the privacy and data regulation as well. And the second perspective then would be all the other markets in the world will need that as well. And we know we are closely looked at and followed by, for example, the Asian countries, by Canada, by African countries, and all these who are just developing and looking in terms of, okay, what kind of digital identity do we need in the future? I see European Union does a very interesting approach at the moment. And exactly that is what we are striving for, to be some kind of a role model as well for the world. To have an authentic, I would say, unique identity, which then as well is a partner of this agentic AI. And exactly this is what we're using and what goes then on in the future, and could be really a very, very interesting topic to discuss in this hackathon. How can I use that? How can I combine an identity and an agent? So this is definitely some aspect that needs to come together and needs to be understood. And I would say a hackathon would be the perfect place to start that.
Thanks for expanding on that. And this is exactly the core of what we as W3FF also want to facilitate. Identity, and especially decentralized identity, is the way to go. I think it's super interesting what you just mentioned with Fetch AI Foundation, that there is a second pillar, or let's say organization, a platform that will also be able to help us. So I think there might be an opportunity to give us a glimpse into what is possible with that. So in a separate masterclass, I think that would be super valuable. So we can be more practical than also in the hackathon. When it comes to what you just mentioned, the European regulatory perspective, so or strategy, is something which is a little bit more, a little bit harder than everywhere else in the world. But I also think it corresponds with Saudi Arabia, at least from how I perceive and what I know so far, because Saudi Arabia is very much looking for privacy, for that the citizens are protected. So I think it could be a good, let's say, partnership let's say, having the perspective on the EU from the Saudi perspective. I know that, let's say, there might be differences. Maybe Ali, can you expand on that, or give your perspective, what you, how you perceive that?
I think we have a real use case currently in our hand in autonomous maintenance and asset management workflow for inside logistic fleet and industrial zone. This is an area where we personally operate, and we know that Bosch has a huge credibility in such an area. So maybe we could use an agentic AI. It could be part of the hackathon as well, where it can monitor the assets, trigger the maintenance, and file the digital charter for all the maintenance processes, also do the payments at the end. So I think this also could give us like an immediate view on the ROI and how we reduce the downtime for such autonomous vehicles.
Sounds interesting, for sure. And also, I think that brings everything into every aspects that we also have for the hackathon into practice, because we are looking into identity, and identity here is not only identity for people, for persons, for citizens, but also for IoT, for devices, what you just mentioned, Peter, and that also the agents are enabled to conduct payments. I think this is also something super interesting. Yeah.
Let me just add on that, because you commented or you mentioned as a preparation for the hackathon, a lot of documentation and practical examples are already out there. Just for all who are listening or would like to get a little more information as preparation, the Fetch AI website, just fetch.ai, is a lot of documentation, a lot of practical example already, what is possible with these agents. And definitely we could then, in preparation to that as well, explain how these are used, and maybe in combination with the use cases that comes to our mind could then be, I would say, thought about at the hackathon.
Yeah, and also to add on to that, so we have a platform for the hackathon, so we will put this video out there, so the link to it. We will also be able then to add whatever you provide as additional resource. So we can put the Fetch AI website if you have additional material. Plus also, I think a masterclass would be super valuable, just be practical, showing how it works. So we will be able to put everything there in one resource, so that participants can just take all the information and be prepared when they are coming to Riyadh. Ghassan, just your perspective on what we are talking right now. Do you have an example? Or
I think, as Peter mentioned, I think we always hear that Europe, they're going to be moving so fast in terms of deploying AI and so on. I think as out of our experience, we have seen in Saudi that since 2021, we have changed so fast. And I think everybody knows this. And we are, in terms of data security, and so we are changing so fast. And I think you can see through your daily interactions in Saudi, and even the ease of business doing in Saudi, it's very changing, which means we are trying to open. We care about, like any country, we care about the security of the national security of the country, and anything else is actually trying to be available. As I mentioned before, in each sector, you will see the sandbox is available to build products above it and take it further. Because we work closely again with the government, and we hear from them what they are working on, and they actually ask for support in some sort, because they want it to be, it's not controlled, it's more organized, more secured in terms for the, I would say, the builders to build upon the data that we have. And again, As you have seen, we opened the private market for foreign investors. We'll be opening also the market for different builders and the global builders. We appreciate having them in Saudi and build it from Saudi. And just keep in mind that this will be also replicated in different sectors. And we encourage all the participants in the hackathon to get the full use out of this opportunity to build. And again, Sabrina and her team, they have really very nice network where they can support and connect you and take you into a next level. Again, Bosch is involved where you can build and co-build and co-pilot together the solutions. And we are happy as Parachute 16 to support in any of anything that we can offer.
That's always fantastic to hear how collaborative you are. And this is what we also experience in Saudi Arabia. There is a lot of collaboration and support. And especially what you just mentioned, Gassam, maybe to expand on that quickly. So if I understood correctly, there is an opening. So it starts, I think, next month or so, that foreign investors are allowed, which is again a new opening for Saudi Arabia, and will attract more internationals. And we want to be this bridge, and it's not only about investing, but it's also about collaborating. So we want to have more collaborators from Europe, from Germany. Okay, we are German, so most of, let's say, a lot of our network is in Germany, but also in Europe. And Peter, it's the same. So Bosch has the roots in Germany. So we want to bring and this collaboration cross-border to Saudi Arabia and back to Germany, you know, that everyone has benefits from it. So yeah, thank you for mentioning that. Maybe to go a little bit deeper into when it comes to inspiring the participants. So is there any non-negotiables when it comes to trust in this agentic workflow, Peter? So now we need to give the agent the permission. We need to it will take action. So we need to, with the smart contracts, build in logics that secure the risk that the agent is doing something that harms, in the long term. It's not only that we get a wrong answer and we are acting as humans, but the agent will act on our behalf or on the behalf of maybe a device. So what kind of non-negotiables there are that you are seeing? Very important.
The big risk that we currently see really with the whole AI, I would say, technologies hype is like hallucinations, the wrong answers. These are just not acceptable when it comes to safety and security. And we already see a lot of security hazards, security risks and threats coming just out of the AI bubble. That we, of course, the black hat hackers are always faster. They already know how to use it against us. And when it comes to critical system, to live critical system, it is absolutely not negotiable that we have something accessing our data, something our privacy data and all that. So the first step, of course, will be we need to have some kind of a certification or some kind of a safety a contract behind it somehow, that this is not possible, that we have some kind of a security that we are safe with our data, with our lives. And on the other side, we need exactly to know who controls on the backside the other systems. Think about MCP, this multi-context protocol. When you say controlling other tool chains and APIs in the background with agents. This is a huge and mighty tool, however, a very risky thing, because then you can implement all the different systems around it. And for all of these systems, you need to have the same safety and security controls. You need to exactly know who owns the data, who's doing what with the data, and so on. Now, this is a huge thing still, And the only thing, again, what I can say is when we use really strong cryptography in the background, what we have in Web3, yeah, with the smart contracts and the other really safe decentralized systems, that helps from the beginning. But again, there we need to really re-architect a lot of connectivity systems here. So not just we can't just use these typical standard agent technologies which are out there, which tell you, oh, this is so happy, so cool to use, just managing, getting a restaurant table, yeah, always the same examples, just using our systems, doing this and this, then accessing that system, accessing this system. This is just not possible. So we have to really be assured what kind of systems we're going to use in the background, how are they safe and secure. Again, I just say a lot of buts here, yeah, and how until it comes to the end. But we still need to be very, very careful when we start using this.
So I just imagine participants who might not be too deep into the topic, that they might now think, oh, this is really risky to touch it. I just believe we will have enough technical support, industry support, also mentors that can help the participants to guide, to also having systems. We have Fetch AI, the platform. It's also like modular system. I don't want to, let's not go too deep into that, but we will have opportunity to use things that, or let's say technology that that they can use. So it's not that we want to have or that they need to create and code agents and need to take the risk, etc. So I just want to raise the that topic, that the participants might not be too that they are scared that they do anything wrong, but
yeah,
I think it's super important.
Just wanted to make them all afraid now from the beginning.
Yeah.
Just look at it from the beginning, be careful. It's all open source what we are using. Yeah, you can really look behind the curtain here, what kind of code we're gonna use. Maybe we can just save that by saying, don't use system you do not know what's behind it. No black boxes. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna start first is with really very simple Python code that you can read, that you can exactly see what's happening in the background, and the systems that you're gonna access need to be known as well. Yeah? And you need to know the API, what is behind it. This is just to say, all the system you are working, interacting with are documented. You can look behind that, what are they, and so just a word of caution here from the beginning, but just try and be open and not to be too scared to use it.
Yeah, and also again, I want to reinforce, we will be there to help. We will bring experts, we bring mentors, we bring other people from the field that can help you. Maybe Ali, regarding what I just mentioned, or ask the risk and the that can also happen in that field. So is there anything that you already observed, or where you have some experience where you say, here is something that we need to take specific an eye on?
I think I have nothing more to say more than what Peter and Ghassan has added previously towards the security and safety of our data, the privacy, and as well the accuracy of such an outcome, which is the hallucination that Peter has mentioned before. I think these are the two major obstacles that scaling such a technology will be facing.
My input on this, just to, I don't know, Sadiq, may I just add in the point very quick?
Please.
So just to be practical and pragmatic, okay? That means we are a government-driven economy of some sort. Once I say government-driven, I mean all the new implementations should be forced and led by the government. That means Once we say smart contracting, still not fully there. That means we should be pragmatic of what today the government needs in different sectors. Try to be, we want to go big, and that is the aim and the dream and the vision. But let's take a step back and see, what we can do today, what is available that I can implement, we can build, we can implement in collaboration with the government agencies that can takes us into next level. So just keep this in mind. Hallucination and so on, it's super, right? Just keep this in mind that we want something that we can implement today, interact, and remember, if we have a product and could be adopted from the mass, it will be more attractive for the players to adopt. This is in a very nutshell.
Do you have some input, some inspiration here? Because I think this is a super valuable remark. There, on one hand side, there's the technology risk, but on the other hand side, it's also about what should be implemented. And yes, you're right. Saudi Arabia is a more governmental-driven economy. So, what's your perspective here?
My perspective here is very clear. Today we will be opening, or we opened one sector, we are opening the second soon. The first one was the public market was opened and will be implemented the next month. It's going to be fully open for the foreign investment. Try our participant to think from that perspective what it needs to have it easy, faster, available, and so from one angle. Second angle, we also will be soon in Saudi announce the foreign real estate ownership. That means also we have so much to do in here. From, because I know so many global friends, they will not come to Saudi today, but they would love to invest and buy houses in Saudi today. I know we are talking in different sectors, but I'm trying to tell you what's happening today. That means all the ecosystem of the real estate, which contains the automotives and so on, name it, it needs to be, we should today really changing the solution that we have, backed by our data, right recommendations, again, right timing, and what could be there for the users, which is today the people that are living in Saudi and outside Saudi that are interested in Saudi. Yeah.
Thank you for that perspective. Peter, that's super interesting. So we have a lot of inspirations. You have also your, let's say, from Bosch perspective, your capabilities, your visions, your strategies, etc. So when we now look into what our participants, again, to inspire them to really to inspire action, to inspire ideas. If you could pick an POC or an idea and an area that creates immediate value, also value for the enterprise from the enterprise perspective, what would that be? Enterprise readiness and let's say what we just mentioned, everything in this call. What is something that you would like to inspire?
I would be highly interested really in the possibility, or as well maybe in the feasibility of the combining of the classic AI agent technology and these, I would say, identity technologies, which are out there. If there is already an idea of something how to connect to each other, because what is here a huge thing is these personal wallets that we see. Every person, every individual gets a wallet with its ID in it. And I would love to see a POC where we would combine just basic agents to something. Yeah, we don't have to be too detailed or too complicated, but just agents which are created, and they have some kind of an idea and can talk to other interacting with their wallets to see how is it possible to pay for something like that, so that we can use this as a blueprint for any interaction or any transaction. There are always two instances. They learn to what can we do to each other, but again, is this allowed? Who are you? Who am I? To just as I said, the intersection of digital identity and agentic AI. And then, of course, the use case could be anything what you can think about. But if we are too specific already in the perfect use case, it's just too complicated and just too long for an hackathon. But the basic idea is implemented. That would make sense, absolutely.
100%. Yeah. Ali, question to you. Same question to you.
Yeah, I agree with both, but I'm really interested in what Gassan says regarding the two industries that he mentioned, which literally has a huge possibility and a huge opportunity in the future. So what I would recommend to the participant is to think of the smallest POC possible, an agent that handles only one task, only one operational task, and for example, do the verifying of the identity or reduce some of the manual time, and then test it. If it works, scale it. If it doesn't work, redesign again, and keep trying till you get the best formula. So this is perfect for such a 90 days hackathon, and it brings the load a little bit down on the participants.
Yeah, and maybe I just want to quickly add here as well. So we have 3 days of hackathon. But we will also give additional support to the winners, and if there's anything interesting coming out, there will be enough support to bring that further, and then also to add a POC to it. So yeah, I just wanted to add that. Gassan, you already mentioned gave some inspiration, but maybe you want to add more.
I will just share one of the real examples that we have today at Parachute 16. Today we have a very strategic partners with Roshan. And Roshan is, it's one of the biggest players in the real estate industry in Saudi Arabia. And because we work with their innovation team to support startups in the ecosystem for the real estate, or prop tech, call it in a way, but also we work with them internally to see what they need. And they were super open. We are super happy to support any POC, paid one, that make our mission easier and faster. Okay, that means, and they know, the discussion was that we know, Ghassan, that it is, we are a real estate company, but we want to be a top-notch real estate company globally. That means you have today big players in Saudi, like Roshan, Sabiq, some friends, Aramco, and so. And also look at those partners, but don't be that much optimistic at those partners, because implementing the POC within their chain is going to be big. But try to think that we have this mindset. So don't try to go so big. Try just to tackle one or two challenges with the right tech back end that kind of speaks to other technologies, because at the end, those companies that are using the big companies and big softwares, try to build something that make it easier on them to say yes more than saying no, and things will be amazing. Try to go small. You have really top-notch people on board for the hackathon. Think of it. Don't think it from your perspective, from their perspective, what they want. So that means just engage with those people and those companies, plus / the government, and things will be easier on you to find something that really connected with their back end, where they can say yes to your POC. And by the way, they already have signed big contracts with people they started with them as a POC. But the percentage is 7, 8, and 9%. Why? Because the people, they understand how they can go, and it was easier for them to implement and deploy that technology.
I have a follow-up question to Peter. You mentioned you were talking about the wallets, identity, also regarding payments, etc. So you probably you have more the European perspective and regulation regarding that. Do you already have a kind of a perspective regarding Saudi Arabia, how regulation might shift, how this can be implemented? Are there any constraints that you already researched internally in your team?
Right, not specifically for Saudi Arabia. However, it needs to be much simpler than the European bureaucracy-driven things. We look definitely on other markets when it comes just to authenticity and to data privacy, just to be sure that we know exactly what kind of data goes out and cannot trust the data. So just from this basic view, we can think of this could be a basic approach for any market. And if you want to know that the private data of the user needs to be secured, this is just, as I said before, it's all open source, and we use everywhere the same technology. Yeah, so like how to really implement a real identity-driven, cryptography-driven thing. Of course, on the other side, it's rocket science. Normally you say it's not rocket science, but it's hard, strong cryptography. It's really hard stuff, but it's already implemented, so you can use it right away. And this should work everywhere. Just to be, just to have the thing, I wouldn't really implement these architectural drafts that we have from the European Union, but really just doing the absolute basis, when it comes to privacy, when it comes to data authenticity. That should work on everything as a basis.
Yeah, thank you. So that can inspire how it can be also implemented in Saudi Arabia.
And there's already a lot of examples what you can use, and again on the websites that we can share lots of practical examples how to use them already. What are out there? There is a construct called agent wars, where a lot of agents are already active, which you can definitely study, and you can see what are they using, and this is something really what you could definitely learn from already.
Are you talking about the agent wars on Fetch AI?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we will also add that to the as a resource. Thank you for that. So it was a fantastic conversation. I already want to thank you for all your openness and your honest perspectives. I would like to close our panel with a last question. Or let's say I want to ask you for an inspiration and an advice for the participants. So when it comes to a concrete action that you would recommend the teams that will build in February, how to move from concept to a real pilot in case A. So really empower them to not only do the 3-day hackathon, but also continue working on it. So what would that be? What kind of concrete action you would like to inspire them for? Maybe starting with Peter again.
I say this is a huge technology, but don't be afraid of it. Embrace the technology, not the hype. So really be open, start small, and there's a lot of documentation, a lot of very knowledgeable things out there, and just be really bold and start coding. That is the best thing for every hackathon from the beginning.
Thank you. Ali, what would be your advice?
I believe the knowledge and know-how they will gain through this journey is worthless, and this is what they should focus on.
Thank you. Ghassan.
For me, I have 3-4 points. The first point, we are in Saudi in the golden era. We are coming to the diamond era. I'm so serious about this. It means golden era means we have so much opportunities. We are working so many things. Just be careful and be sure that things needs time. Don't think that the first thing that any implementation, any POC that you are building gonna be fast, deployed, la 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 la. We are coming to the diamond era where everything will be moving faster and faster. This is very important. Second, the humbleness is very important in the process. You might be no technology, but you might not know what priority of the country is. So listen, engage, try to be humble, try to participate, not anticipate. Which anticipation, you anticipate that and you are building something really massive, and so who decides what is massive is what is needed for the country from the user perspective and the policymaker perspective. Okay. Third thing, you gonna be meeting great people. Try to make real friendship and real authentic connections. Because yeah, you might be building POC, does not work. You're going to be building something next. You might be joining another corporation. You might be joining any firm. Try to be authentic enough to make real friendship. The fourth and the last, try to give before you take. Yani, try within the hackathon is to give. You have any know-how, give it. You have any connections, give it. I see from the questions some different names from our region and from Saudi as well. So try just to engage, try to participate. When say participate, deeply, happily, proudly, enough. And again, Sabrina and her team and the people around you will be supporting you to the maximum. Yani, because she's a really dear friend, and I know what she's sharing in the private conversations. She really cares about what they are doing. And please stay happy. We are very happy to support in anything possible.
You just reminded me that there are questions. I missed that.
It's fine.
I'm so sorry.
Actually, we covered all of those. We covered all of those actually.
Yeah, so sorry for that to the audience, but thanks for the interaction. Thanks also to the audience. Thanks to each of you, to Peter, to Ali and Ghassan, and maybe just a last word from my side, what just popped up in my mind, because I'm coming from the product side, user-centric design side, and when I just heard that how you thought about the user, but also the government, I think there need to be a new way of also testing the product. So it's not only that, because what we usually do, so testing with customers, testing with users, but also testing it with government. So that's a really great takeaway. Thank you for that. Thanks for the conversation. And we are looking forward. I'm looking forward to see you all soon in person in February in Riyadh. Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks for having
Welcome
us.
to Riyadh, friends. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
See you, Riyadh.